Hi, I'm Sam Durland. Thank you for welcoming. Thank you for tuning in for another Facebook Live on this beautiful Wednesday. We're really excited that you're with us. So today, of course, we're going to talk about our Fat Club, which is awesome. We're also going to go about the supplement of the day. And then today I'm going to talk about aging. And then we'll talk about some of the other events that we have coming up, which we're super excited about. So to start out with, we had our event on Saturday at Circle S Ranch, and it was super fun. So I think there was like a group of 20 women that had gone and spent the night, and then I got to talk at the end of the day Saturday, and it seemed like everyone had a really great time, and it was an opportunity to get away from the hustle and bustle of life and just focus on what's important in your self-help. So I'm super thankful that I got to be a part of that. And last week we also had our event at Jalen Bridal. And that was really great too, because of course when you go and you get married, I mean, you think about your body's amazing, and we all have different body types. And so you never want to be somebody different than who you are, because there's only one you. And so when you look at your beautiful body in that wedding dress, you just kind of have to rock what your body is for you. So that was great. And thank you to all those folks for coming out. We were really excited to be part of that journey with them. So as far as the Fat of the Month, not Fat of the Month Club, but kind of like that, we continue to help people in their weight loss journey and to becoming the stronger, leaner version of themselves. And I just wanted to also say on this note, you know, how sometimes the more you have the opportunity to work within your body and understand it, the more you see how many different things you can do to change how it works. So I was talking with a younger patient today, and he or she, I won't say which one, but was working really hard to try and reach this goal for themselves. And so even though some people use your BMI, like height and weight, or various measurements to calculate your health. If your body is such that you carry a lot of muscle, then your neck and your waist may be more proportional than people would think, but that doesn't mean that you are in any sort of bad health. So we talked about ways to kind of change that around, and I thought it was interesting to have that conversation. So I always use myself as an example, just because I'll tell people anything they want to know about me, because I'm like, I got nothing to hide. So, neither does anyone else, but I'm just comfortable talking about it because it's just nice to know that we're not alone, and I love my body is nature, and just use it as an example. So when you think about being like a mesomorph like me with more, I just have more muscle mass, right? So my BMI, which is height and weight, will always look like a lot of times an obese because I'm so dense because of my muscles. But that doesn't mean that I'm obese. I look more at body fat because body fat helps me know the proportion of my body's protection of myself. So with this other particular patient, we were talking not only about how you eat and how you move, but kind of molding that with your body type to achieve the measurements that you need. So if you carry more muscle mass and you do a lot of cardiovascular activity, your muscle mass actually a lot of times goes down, because with chronic cardio, your body will look at that as a little bit more stressful, and so my body fat goes up and my muscle mass goes down even though I'm working out a lot. So the type of exercise and how long you're exercising has a lot to do with how you achieve that when you start to really get at the nitty-gritty of how fine-tuning your body. If I lift, I'm going to up my muscle mass because lifting is going to help me increase muscle, and so I may get heavier. And if I'm trying to weigh in for something, then I would really want to be careful about my lifting super heavy, because lifting super heavy is going to make me tight and bulky. So but if I would lift lighter weights, more reps, then maybe I would still have muscle mass, but not as much as if I lifted heavy, and I'd still be strong. So I can move my muscle mass by how I'm working out. I can also move my muscle mass by how I eat, because I know if I eat more carbs, and again, I'm more of a mesomorph type body. If I eat more carbs, I'm going to increase body fat, reduce muscle mass. If I eat more protein, I increase muscle mass, reduce body fat. So all of that stuff was using examples of how I eat and how I move to move my body. So that's over hormones, it's over everything else. So it's just cool to know that you can do that. And like if I'm a power lifter, I don't want my body fat to be way low, because if my body fat is way low and I'm a power lifter, I feel weak, and if I feel weak, I can't lift heavy. And sometimes I myself process a lot when I jog and when I run. So when I if I'm going through something in my mind, I really don't want to lift. I really don't want to go to class. I just want to run outside by myself in the trees and on the trails. And so I accept when I'm processing through a lot or going through a lot in my life. If my body fat goes up a little bit, my muscle mass goes down, well, that's the way it's supposed to be, and that's okay, because I need my body to protect me in that way I'm thinking. So I just like to bring these concepts up, so something that you can think about. It might seem kind of confusing, but it also, hopefully the more you think about it, the more simple it becomes. So if we're going to talk about the supplements of the day, I thought, let's talk about these two things. We're going to talk about this Unite Women's Balance and also DHEA, because some people do great on supplements, some people do great on medicine, some people do great with hormone therapy, injections, pellets, troches, creams. Literally, it's whatever you need to balance your body out. Now, if you're doing something and you're not feeling balanced in your body, then try something different, because you may want something to be a certain way, but if your body doesn't say that that's the right answer, you can't will into your body what you want it to be biologically. You have to kind of embrace what it is. But if I was going to choose supplements to try and help me with estrogen and testosterone supplementation without really taking either of those, then this is Unite Women's Balance. And so I tell folks it has usually like every herbal supplement known to man to help with estrogen in our body without literally taking estrogen. And DHEA is a pro-hormone of the adrenal gland. So you can take it and literally increase your testosterone levels somewhat. There's so many other ways to do this too, but this is super easy. So I just thought it was kind of fun to talk about today, that estrogen and DHEA for testosterone. Now, this shouldn't stimulate the lining of your uterus that you have to take progesterone, although there's a lot of progesterone creams that you can get over the counter at some like health food stores and things like that. So that's completely something fine too. But you could also just take these two supplements by themselves and feel safe in doing so. So there you go. So the next thing we're going to talk about today is aging. And so around here, I tell everyone I love to help people modulate their stress response. So what the heck is that? That is just your body feeling like it needs to protect you, or maybe even running inefficiently. So if you help your body's efficiency and you help it find energy, then it helps you as a driver of your body feel the most mentally clear, sleep good, and feel the best you can feel. I think that's what we all want. We just want to sleep, wake up, feel rested, have good energy in the day, and have the potential to be the best us we can be. So how the heck does aging fit into this paradigm? Well, think about it. And again, separate yourself apart. Think about you being a spiritual being and your body's just a robot, a biological mechanism that you live through. There's no emotion in your robot, and your robot or your body or your meat suit's job is to carry you from the day you're created until the day you die. So I'm going to challenge you to think about life from the perspective of your body. Now, your body loves you. Your body is carrying you. So what happens with aging? Well, virtually everything in nature ages, right? And as it ages, it oxidizes, kind of to put it easily, I guess. And so that is just a math problem. That is just chemistry. So if we're living in an organism that is alive in the world, then what happens is our body ages. But our spirit, like who we are, it doesn't age at all. And it seems really weird that how can I be this little kindergartner that wants to run up and down the hall and be nice to everyone and have a great day, lives in this body, and sometimes I look at it in the mirror and I'm like, what the heck happened to me? Well, you didn't age, but your body does. But it doesn't mean that your body does not have its regenerative capacity. So by that, what the heck does that mean? Regenerative capacity is the ability of your body to heal itself if given the appropriate energy. So think about your skin. We look in the mirror. We might see a couple of wrinkles. We might have some scars from where we fell down over our lifetime. Well, you know what? Collagen, which is your skin, is regenerative. So if we do certain procedures to it, guess what happens? The collagen regenerates itself and the wrinkles go away. Is it wrong to make your wrinkles go away? No. Is it right to make your wrinkles go away? Who cares? It's just something you can do to feel like you reconnect with your body, because isn't it so cool? If my car oxidizes, I have to go to the fix-it shop. They gotta beat it out and do all this fun stuff to it. My body, if you just give it a little bit of its own language and help it remember itself, heals itself. That is so cool. Well, not only does my body age, but my body, my skin, my body tends to kind of slow down as I age, because aging is a chronic stress on the body. So that means it's gradual. The more gradual things are, the less I perceive them, okay? It's because your neurological system is built for variance or difference. So if I touch you, you will feel me touch you for that moment, but the longer I hold that exact same pressure, the less you will feel me touch you, and that's the way our neurological system is built. So when our body has gradual change, we don't even know what's happening. But what we do notice is we're like, I'm getting some more wrinkles in my face, or maybe not, but a lot of times. Number 2, my sleep is a little bit more off. Number 3, I can't remember and concentrate as much. And number 4, I'm putting on a little bit more body fat. Well, you know what that is? Those are all the signs of a chronic stress of your body. So is it normal to age? Yeah. Is it a moral, ethical thing of nature saying that you aging is just the way you're supposed to be? No. So if you want to do different things to your body, you can. Don't feel bad about that. But on the flip side, if you don't want to, that's great too. It is just a choice. So our body aging is because nature ages. But nature's rule book is made off of energy, all right? So if you have limited resources, your body protects you. So with aging, your body's endogenous resources, youth, goes down, so your body protects itself a little bit more. That's not a moral decision. That is just the way, and I just keep saying that because a lot of times we feel like there's some emotional connection with aging or something like that. And I'm like, no, it's just our body. But our body is still amazingly beautiful no matter what people want to do with it. Our body still wants to carry you from the day you're created till the day you die. If I cut your skin the day you're born, I cut your skin today, I cut your skin the day you die, guess what? Your body still wants to heal itself. And when given the energy, your body heals itself faster. So it does feel odd for me to continue to advance in age and become hopefully more life mature, but my body ages. It's a little bit more sore, a little bit more tired, but I acknowledge if I give back to my body, I feel so much better. So the other phrase I'll hear a lot is you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, you know what? You totally can. Because your brain's capacity to learn new things and change never leaves you till the day you die. If you have the energy and intent, you could totally change that wiring of your brain. So now I know old dogs new tricks just means, hey, that person is not engaged in learning something new because they don't want to and they don't have the energy. But if you give them the energy and they have the intent, our brain's capacity to learn never leaves us. So I just want people to know that about aging, because I've heard a lot of folks talk about that for a while, and how does that, kind of wrap into the stress response? It's just a chronic, gradual stress. Your body is aging not because it's right or wrong. It's just part of being in nature. But you can do something about it if you want. You don't have to do something about it if you don't want. Just have a great day. And if your neighbor wants to do something about that, aging-wise in their skin, hope they have a great day. And if you don't want to do something about it, I hope you have a great day. And that was just my way of saying don't condemn others for their choices, because everyone's just trying to connect with themselves and they're trying to just find out who they are. And if we condemn each other, then we take energy from each other. And there is enough energy depletion in this world, so if we just accept each other for the way we are and try to lift each other up, it's just a better world. So that's what I wanted to say about aging. Now there's also other little things we can do aside of hormones and things, give your mitochondria more energy, vitamins, things like that. So there's lots of other things that we can do to help people. Literally your body has countless amounts of entry points to help you have a good day. So as far as upcoming events that we have coming up, our upcoming events include that we have I think we're going to a Langston Hughes Health Fair, which I'm super excited about. Not for a little while, till May, is a blood drive coming up. We also have, a health fair, like at KU, right? We have a KU health fair. And then we have, we have a mom's weekend coming up that we're super excited about. So the sororities in town, have mom's weekend. So come up and do like a yoga class, and then we talk about wellness and other things we can do. So we're super excited about that as well. And I don't think, was there KU health fair? Oh, the KU Health Fair, I think we kind of touched upon that.
Okay.
So those are events coming up within the next week, and we're super excited about those things. Are any questions or anything like that?
Yes, we have a question about what goes on with your hormone levels as you age and why do they change?
Okay, so when you look at hormone levels as we age, our hormone levels actually go down. So if we're just going to take a basic premise, like for females, we are born with 20 million eggs when we're born from our moms. They're stuck in this like frozen state, and then we start going through puberty, they wake up. Now when our last egg is gone from our ovaries, or if they're removed, then we don't have any hormones anymore. And our brain keeps trying to tell our ovaries to work, whether they're there or whether they're not, or whether they're working or they're not. So that goes on our whole life. Now, if you are born with all your eggs your whole life, they're exposed to every food, toxin, radiation, stress. So over time, me as an animal, it makes sense that it wouldn't be good for the animal kingdom for me to procreate when I'm 55 because my eggs have been with me my whole life, and maybe they will not be as healthy. And so in the eyes of the animal kingdom, maybe that would put our like village or animals at risk. Now men continue to produce sperm every 3 months. So they're always generating it. So they're kind of in a different, men and women are kind of in a different hormonal state for different reasons, right? Now, I'll tell women all the time, when your hormones leave you, is that natural for it to happen? Yeah, it's natural for your ovaries to quit working. Why? Well, I guess I shouldn't procreate if I've been with my eggs and they've been exposed to all these things in the eyes of the animal kingdom. But what does that mean for me? Well, for me, I still have to work my body, right? Hormones help your body de-stress itself. It's a buffer for the stress response. So when they leave me, my ability to remember and concentrate can go down, my sleep gets off, I don't want to move as much, my body fat goes up, and my libido can go down. Does that feel good? No. Is there something I can do about it? Sure. So just because I'm not going to procreate doesn't mean I don't have value in this world, and it doesn't mean that I have to live the last decades of my life feeling not good. So hormones are just a way that your body de-stresses itself, and putting them back in can help a person have a great day. Now for men, men's testosterone levels also go down as they age, and they also feel very similarly actually that women do, although they don't have hot flashes. But I think a lot of men just don't talk about it as much, and I think some women don't talk about it as much either, but it's happening to them. So as your body gets more stressed, it always kind of eats up your sex hormones, because the last thing it wants you to do is procreate when you're stressed. That makes so much sense, because your body's job is to protect you from the day you're created till the day you die. And if there's a big stress and you go out and have a ton of kids and your body's super stressed out, you don't have energy for your heart to beat or for your brain to think. So your body starts kind of shutting you down because it doesn't want you to keep giving out. Same thing for a male. If a male gets super stressed out, the last thing that nature wants is for him to go out and procreate or have a sexual drive to procreate. And so they stop moving, upping body fat, reducing muscle mass, can't remember and concentrate, sleeping in the recliner at night. So all those things are super normal. So do hormone levels change? Yes. Now the other thing I want to point out is our body is primal. It evolved in a cave over a super long time. Is the world that we have created the world that our body understands? No. Your body wants you to eat whole foods, move, sweat, have a healthy gastrointestinal system, sleep, balance your energy from the world around you and what you give to the world, and belong somewhere. Well, again, like last week when we talked about this with adolescents, we've taken most of those things away from ourselves. So within that, in this world, our body perceives more stress now than I think it ever has. So when hormones leave you, that makes that worse. So again, hormones are just a way that your body can regenerate itself and understand a good day. I call it in the cave. So it's normal for them to go down, but there are things that you can do about it. Because you can't ever, your ovaries are not going to wake back up. But you could balance yourself out with other ways besides hormones if you learn how to do that and figure that out.
We have a second question.
I'm so excited. Okay.
Can DHEA help with weight loss?
It can. So here's the thing that I would say. You have to look at your expectations and how it feels, right? And the other thing I find a lot of times with, I think the most important component of weight loss is how you eat. Now, if you're hypothyroid, if you are hormonally deficient, if you are insulin resistant, sometimes you're doing all of these things and not noticing a difference. So if you're trying to eat well and move and it's not working, we got to dig deeper, right? So DHEA is one way to help your body produce testosterone, and I definitely feel that the younger you are, the more it may help with weight loss. Now, there are some people that it may help, and it's a great initial place to start, but if you don't notice much change with it, I would kind of go on to something deeper, because while it may work for some people, it might not be enough for a lot of people. And so try anything for a month, and if it doesn't work, go to plan B.
Gotcha. Thank you.
No problem. But the biggest thing that when your body gets stressed is a lot of times we try to eat bad, we will eat bad foods, or we stop moving. So literally and as we age too, the other thing we do is when we're 20, we're taught that eating less and exercising more makes us lose weight. So we always go back to that as we age as the right thing to do. But what you notice as we age is that our body, aging is a chronic stress. So if you undereat, you stress your body out more. If you overmove, you stress your body out more. So it's really about working out smarter and eating well and eating enough of the right foods, more than it is working out harder and eating a lot less. I think the biggest thing I struggle with patients is helping them understand how much to eat, because they always want to eat less. But that's just because of how we learned, but we learned with youth with us. We didn't learn with us having to help our body balance itself out. So back to the DHEA, for some people it may work, but when it really comes down to it, you could try it for a month, but if it doesn't work, don't forget the other really important things, and sometimes you might just need a little more. Any other questions?
As you age, what would you recommend the best supplement to use? So is there a supplement that you should have when you're in your 20s, have when you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, and up?
So what I would do as far as supplements go is I'm always trying to, you can kind of individualize it a little bit, but I'll just throw some things out there. So I love the little multivitamin thing that we have because it helps your mitochondria. Well, your mitochondria is the powerhouse of every cell. So I want every cell to be great. So I would take 2 of those multivitamins every day. I'd be sure I took a vitamin D. The other thing, and really I'll take K-Force because I know I want the K with a D, because now I just feel like, it's just the best and I want my body to be okay. You could take like an omega or eat more fish. The other thing sometimes I'll do is I'll throw berberine in there, but there's 50% of us that have elevated homocysteine or MFTR mutation. So I'll take a methyl AB complex every day as well. So between those ones, that just kind of rounds out what I'll take for myself, and I try to eat whole foods and do an Inflammacore shake here or there, especially after I work out, to reduce oxidative stress. But the last thing I want to do every day is take a whole handful of pills. So, and I think actually I would take vitamin D, my homocysteine, my 2 multivitamins, and my omegas every day, depending if I was 20 or if I was 70 or 80, because I'm still human all of those days, and my body's genetics actually needs that a lot. And when you really look at what we were doing now, we're not going out in the sun, we're not like going outside as much. So I just see everyone's vitamin D levels being low, and people fear being on vitamin D, especially as summer comes, because they don't want to get toxic levels, but it's a very rare occasion that I see vitamin D levels pretty high, and usually it's people taking a super, super high amount of vitamin D every day. Like when I say super, I'm saying like 15,000 or 20,000 units every day. When you do just like 5,000, I've never seen anyone go too high on that, and I check like a ton. I check a lot of vitamin D levels. So I guess that's what I would say as far as supplements. Sometimes I'll supplement at various other times, like if I have GI issue, I'll throw a little extra berberine in there, or some curcumin or something, but I like to get a lot of stuff through the food that I eat because I don't want to take a ton of pills. Any other questions?
Yeah. What would you say is a good time or signals that your body is sending you to maybe come in and talk about some of these concerns? So if you are kind of experiencing maturity, what are some of those signals that might say, hey, this is a good time to get some of those hormone levels checked, things like that?
Got it. And before I even get into that, I was going to say, I had a patient come up this weekend, and she had said, I don't feel anything that everyone else feels, but she was fearing menopause or changes in her body, and she was wondering what she needed to do to be proactive. And I told her, I go, you know what? You're great. You're great right now. Love life, because she exercises, she eats great, her body's supporting her. And so just don't fear these changes in your body, but if they happen, come on in. So anytime somebody feels like they can't remember and concentrate as much, their sleep is off, they're gaining weight, Their libido's going down, or maybe they feel like their thoughts are racing a little bit more. Those are the things that people come in and see me most for. Gastrointestinal, food allergies or sensitivities. People feel bloated, have heartburn, diarrhea, constipation. Maybe they're breaking out in rashes and their hair is falling out. Those are symptoms that you see with that. Also, those folks can also have memory and concentration issues as well. In the hormone realm, I think I see patients, like women, starting this transition after 35 sometime. But that makes sense. Again, after 35, you're advanced maternal age. After 40, we're elderly gravid if we get pregnant. I roll my eyes because it's so crazy to say that. But we know if our ovaries are aging and we're increasing risk when we're pregnant because of the age of our eggs, then certainly that's going to cause some changes of hormone levels too, which changes our biological support system. So basically, if you just don't feel like yourself, don't feel like you have to sit there and suffer. Your body's just talking to you. Figure out what it is, and then it sets you free. And what an opportunity aging is to drive this regenerative body with life's maturity. I mean, I don't want to go back to high school. I don't want to go back to college. I just want to have a good day. So, yeah, hopefully that answered that question.
And I think some people have reached out about, how do I just feel supported or feel like there's others like me going through, because I think you had mentioned a lot of people say, I'm going through this, I'm totally alone, but you want to, not to normalize it and take away power from them, but just say, hey, a lot of folks are experiencing some of these feelings, and it's
isolating.
Yeah.
So, there's part of our body that makes us human and part of our body that makes us an individual. The part of our body that makes us a human is when your body gets deficient on energy, when it starts to feel imbalanced. Our brains so frequently start ruminating towards the negative and they start spinning. So when that starts happening and our brain starts spinning and thinking about the negative, we feel very alone and we feel isolated. So it's another natural part of the condition we're talking about where you can't sleep, you can't remember and concentrate, that we feel really alone. But that is so normal. And when I say normal, it doesn't mean that you have to sit there and feel that way. It just means that your body sometimes is working normally when it does that, but it still means that you need to come in and talk about it. Because so frequently when this happens, we're scared to open up. We're nervous to say, I can't remember and concentrate. We're worried we have some major neurological disorder that we're gonna end up somewhere and not being able to take care of ourselves or our families. And so I always assume the body is right until proven that it's ill. So ask it the question, is there anywhere we could help it out? Anything we could do? And a lot of times you find some great answers. And if we have to refer on to find somebody else to help us out, we're so going to do that. So don't fear your body. If you can't remember and concentrate, if your sleep is off, if you feel like you're gaining weight, you feel super alone, you're not alone. You're just human. And your body's talking to you and it's trying to slow you down. It's trying to protect you for something. Reach out and talk about it. That's what I do all day long, day in and day out. This speech over and over and over and over and over and over again. And you give people a hug and you say, you know what, we're going to be all right. We're going to get out of this. And then we start getting better together, all of us. But, you just got to talk about it and don't be scared.
And I think that's where that comes in with the support factor. Sometimes folks just getting it all off their chest they feel better just from doing that.
Absolutely. Just to come in and open up and just make it, get it out there and get it out of them. And and the nice thing when you come in and you talk to is you're surrounded by people who love you for who you are, would never condemn you. We have absolutely we have no expectations other than we just want to help people get better. So you literally could tell me anything and I'd be like, okay, all right, we're going to work with this. We got this going on, right? And so if you felt like you could come in and just say how you really felt and let it out, you don't carry that thought with you of negativity anymore, and that gives you energy back.
I like to describe it as a backpack, and sometimes throughout the day we start putting things in our backpack. And when we carry around our backpack, we've got our stress from work, we've got our stress about our kids, we've got concern about what we're going to eat that day, maybe we've just got emotions about how the day has been going. And when we carry that backpack day in and day out and we never empty it out, it gets to be really, really heavy. And when it gets heavy, it starts to weigh us down and we feel tired and we feel really isolated and really alone. And I like to tell people that when they come in, let's just unpack. Let's just take these things out. And when we put them out and we put them on their shelf or we get through them, we get, they're sorted, then we're done with those. We're moving forward. Don't put them back in your backpack because it's just excess weight that just drags you down. Whether it's concern about relationships and things like that, or it's about barriers to exercise or nutrition. sometimes just talking through them just helps to get those off of our chest and out of our backpacks, and just helps to make the day a little bit lighter.
And people don't realize that you can actually have weight gain and age prematurely from how heavy your backpack is. So if you carry a lot of stress and a lot of worry, your body has to carry that with you, and it makes it tired. And it won't have enough energy to do a lot of the other things that you want it to do, like walk down the stairs, make better food choices. It's spinning, and that is something we can do something about. And you also have to allow your body to do it, because a lot of times we're so scared to let go of a thought or a concept. And just like Lauren said, you have your backpack, you have your books in the backpack. Sometimes I'll talk to people about, like, think about your body as a car and you're the driver. And these really heavy concepts that maybe you've had your whole life, your brain is making this decision to process through it or not. The harder it is to process through, the more you kick it in the back seat and you keep driving, and you get literally heavy. At some point in time, your body says, I'm tired. I'm tired of carrying this thought. I'm tired of driving around this box, because if I got to carry you from the day you're created until the day you die, this is going to weigh us down. We're not going to make it to the end point, so let's start kicking it out. So your body puts it right next to you in your passenger seat, and when that happens, it feels really hot. It's just like, I don't want it in that seat. I don't want it in that seat. But your body's like, dude, I want to kick it out of the car. Roll the window down. And all you have to do is lean back, and your body will kick it out for you. But you have to give it the permission and let it happen, or else you're carrying it and carrying it and carrying it. So I just like to point out those analogies, because if we're all carrying around heavy baggage, life is hard, your body is easy. You only have one life to live, and it's yours. So I don't want to live my life with a lot of heavy backpacks, and I don't want to live with my car being heavy, because then I can't be light, and I don't get to choose where my energy is given, which means my relationships change, my health changes, and I don't want that anymore. So I just want to have what I need in my backpack to live good this day, love the people that I love, and help people feel the best they can feel.
Sometimes we get sick and tired from the things that make us sick and tired,
Yeah, and it's okay to let them go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We have a question about about diets, about some of the nutrition, so it's on the nutrition track.
Okay.
So do you recommend keto diets? Is a question I came across.
So this is what I would say about keto diets. Okay, so again, you got to go back. As human beings, we're all tired, most of us, right? Most of us are deficient on energy. And if I ask you to do this really complex diet that takes a long time to understand, then I'm taking energy away from you to go through a ball with your kid, or figure out at work how to make good healthy choices. And so then we stop doing it. What I love about keto is, here's the rule: eat less than 20 carbs a day. That didn't take much to say at all, right? Now, is that kind of hard to sustain? Yeah. Do I want to eat that way? No. But you know what? It took me a long time to understand how to eat more protein, less carbs, and 1 fat a day in the world that I live in a way that I understand. And so if I'm starting out on my journey of wanting to get wellness, and I want to make it easy, keto's a pretty good place to start. That's all I have to say. But if you eat keto and you feel bad, don't do it. Ask your body. But I really believe that might be why more and more of the keto diet is catching on, because it's so simple. It's just one rule: just eat super low carbs. I'll hear people say, well, what happens to my cholesterol? What happens to this? What happens to that? And you can see sometimes that your LDL may rise if you keep your carbs less than 20. But in the big scope of life, when I look at people's labs, they look pretty good. And the other thing too is, once you get on your, maybe you just take it one day at a time. So I do believe that keto works for the right person, and I'm totally supportive of that if somebody wants to do it, because it's easy. And if you get starting doing anything and recycle that energy back into your body, that's a great thing. So if you eat keto and you lose weight and it makes you happy and feel light, and you start walking, and then with that walking you start drinking water, and you start drinking water, you start like laughing more, and then you start sleeping better, then keto freaking rocks, right? So I just want to start with some simple ways to help people understand their body, and keto reduces insulin resistance. Well, guess what? Like 80% of the population is insulin resistant. So it helps you also start to understand more about how your hormone levels and insulin and glucose change how your body functions and how you think. So sorry for the long-winded answer, but that's what I would say.
Great. I think that's all all the questions that we happen to have for today.
Awesome. Well, thank you for tuning in for Facebook Live today, and we're super excited. We have a little idea for next week. We'll see if we actually are able to do that, but don't forget to tune in because it'll be fun.